Hello everyone, welcome to the ultimate Malzahar guide. It's finally here. Listen, it might be a little bit scuffed, whatever, but please, hey, I tried, okay? I put in effort in this. Welcome everyone. If you're new here, welcome to you too. If you want to join our Discord, the link is in the description. My Twitch, I go live sometimes. I want to go live more often, but if you haven't followed those, please do, guys. Listen, I put in a lot of time into this. It might, again, be a little bit scuffed, but you know, don't flame. I'm trying my best. We're going to talk about everything from, you know, a little bit of kind of a pros and cons, best runes, itemization, matchups, and I will probably, I'm gonna put in some gameplay footage of like bad early game and good early game. I don't want to do this video like 3 hours, so I'm gonna put it kind of not too many gameplay videos, maybe a little bit less than I wanted to, but also that could be in the future, you know, videos. Maybe we can look into more gameplay footage, stuff like that. So everything is gonna be timed in the description. So if you want to skip some parts, or if you want to know a bit of the parts a little bit better, or like you might not want to see the pros and cons, whatever, the time is down below in the description. And if you guys don't know who I am, and if you're new to the channel, I am a master Malzahar player, probably one of the best KDAs for, you know, master tier, at least, even diamond tier, even, you know, there's just, I only know about one challenge guy, but some people say KDA doesn't matter, but in my opinion, a champion like Malzahar, it does matter, especially the death rate. In my opinion, I have a lot of games on Malzahar, yet I have one of the best KDAs. I mean, people have less games than me, and if you guys don't know, like less game, let's say you have 30-40 games, of course it's kind of, let's say you're smurfing all the way from Iron up to Masters, of course you're gonna have a uber good KDA. I am probably the best Malzahar with the best KDA. Okay, maybe not, I'm not gonna say the best Malzahar, but I have the best KDA on Malzahar for being like a diamond player. I'm not smurfing, you know, it's my main account, it's not a smurf. And yeah, I mean, again, KDA doesn't matter, but if you have, again, if you're playing a champion like Malzahar, where position does matter, and you have less kill or deaths on him, of course that means, I mean, your positioning is better. That's just the way it is. No flame to other Malzahar mains. I mean, hey, you guys are, you know, OGs. I love you, but anyways, so I'm gonna go through some pros and cons at first, and we're just gonna talk about some stuff. So why you should play Malzahar? Well, this is kind of a basic thing. The first thing is, let me see if this works. It doesn't. Okay, wait. This is a bit awkward. Okay, small skill curve. What I mean with this, guys, is this champion is fairly simple to learn. Doesn't really need a lot of time into him. I mean, you can play, I mean, no cap, like 5 to 10 games, and you already mastered his skill set. Now it kind of is differential from his laning. Like laning, of course, it's gonna take time. You want to know your power spikes, you want to know how to lane properly, the matchups. It's that is not skill curve. That's you know, overall just everything into the game combined into one thing. This is just a small skill curve, as if, yeah, like as in his spells, you know, Q W E R. It's kind of simple. It doesn't really require a lot of time on him to master it. Like, let's say you're playing something like a Riven, she has a lot more to learn. Like, you have to learn the Q animation cancel on her R, whatever. It's just so much different things you have to practice and, you know, do them correctly every time to, you know, make it work. Malzahar isn't like that. He's very basic, very easy to play. So that's why, I mean, small skill curve. If you want to pick him up, doesn't matter which elo you are, doesn't matter if you know, have zero mechanics, if you have good mechanics, it doesn't really matter. You're gonna pick him up and you're gonna learn him pretty fast. The second thing I want to talk about is his strong mid to late game. This champion scales very well into the mid and late game, at least in my opinion. Some people might disagree, but when you get like 2 items on Malzahar, like let's say you get Liandry's and Riley's, and you have boots, you're literally so strong, man. You can slow everyone with your Q. You do a hell of a lot of damage. You're gonna be annoying. You're gonna be like a CC bot with your R. You're gonna do a lot of damage. If people are chasing you, it's gonna be hard to catch you guys because you have, you know, perma slow. Your voidlings is gonna slow everyone. that's why when you like, if you want to pick a champion to scale with, Malzahar is, you know, is a great pick. Especially right now in the meta, in my opinion, this champion like Malzahar is good against probably almost every comp. Like there isn't a comp I can think of that this champion is weak against. He does well against everything. Maybe if they have like uber long ranges where you can't move up, but there's always gonna be a champion that's either a melee or like very short range. It's just the game. That's just the game. What the game is, you know. Maybe they pick a melee champ top or tank top, someone with engage. You're gonna always have a target you can R late game. That's just the way it is. And yeah, I mean, again, very strong mid to late game champ. If you guys want to look for a scaling champion and you want to pick up something new, Malzahar might be the one for you. The third point is does not require a brain. Listen, what I mean with this, some people just, you know, they kind of get this wrong. But what I mean with this is, for example, let's say you play Yasuo, you have to have like a 99% brain activation to play the champion. Because Yasuo, you have to dash in, you have to look for spells. If there's a spell coming, you have to be ready with your W. You have to, you know, not to dash too far forward. You don't want to dash into a turret. You know, you have to do so many stuff to make it work. Malzahar, you literally, bro, you can wake up and go play a game of Malzahar and he's still gonna play well. You know, it's just the way it is. He's too simple to mess up with. Again, if you play something like an assassin, Katarina, you do one misstep, boom, you're dead, and now your laning is literally gone to hell. Malzahar, bruh, you can literally watch a video on the second monitor. I swear to God, I have done this. I literally watched like a Twitch streamer while I play Malzahar. It's just that simple. What more can I say? It does not require a brain, guys. So if you are lacking IQ, this champion is for you. I'm not flaming myself or Malzahar mains, guys, but it's just the way it is. Does not require a lot of, like, what can I say, focus. Maybe a little bit in the early game, but then it's just, you know, it's kind of, what can I say, you literally on pilot mode when you play the champion. The fourth is junglers should love you. Well, this is, again, it's from game to game, but this champion, when you hit 6, you have 2.5 seconds of suppress with your R. Very easy to set up ganks. You literally ping, you say you have R, and if a jungler doesn't gank you, I mean, hey, this guy, he might have had a rock thrown at him when he was a kid, I don't know. But it's very easy to gank Malzahar, or, you know, you can set up ganks with him. He's very strong in when you hit 6. Like, if, let's say there's a river fight, 2 versus 2, Malzahar and a jungler versus enemy mid and a jungler, I mean, it's very, very favorable to you, because again, your R does CC for 2.5, does hell of a lot of damage, especially if you get like a full combo EW with 2 boiling stacks QR. You're literally gonna do hell of a lot of damage. Your jungler is just gonna get free hits on the enemy. If he has skill shots, he's not gonna miss, because again, your R suppresses, and you're gonna probably win most of the river fights after you hit 6. So it's very good for jungling or junglers, and this brings us to the 5th step. Awesome for doing. So if you have a jungler duo friend and you're in Discord or whatever, again, you can easily call for him. You say, yo bro, I'm level 6, I have R, come. And if he doesn't come, I mean, maybe he's your real friend, I'm not sure. This is, again, kind of, it depends from game to game. If you have a random jungler who's tilted and he might not gank, he doesn't care. It happens to me too, bro. It happens in Masters, where I'll literally call for a jungler and my jungler is just mad at me for some reason, and he's like, nah, I'm not gonna come. And then all of a sudden, you know, he just ignores you because of his ego and he doesn't gank, and your game is a lot harder. But again, this is the 5 tips for now. Maybe missed out on some better tips, I'm not sure, but hey, this is what I feel right now. And let's just go into some of the negatives with Malzahar. So this is why you should not play Malzahar. So the first is probably what you guys, I mean, if you have played Malzahar, this should be a thing you guys already know, but he has a weak early game. Yeah, I mean 1 to 6 at least. From level 1 to 5, he's pretty weak. Can't really trade, I mean, you could trade, but there's just so many champions that out trades you. And if you're a player who really likes to play aggro early game, or you know, look for perma trades, skirmishes, don't pick Malzahar, because this champion, you're not supposed to try to go all in early game or level 1 to 2, 1 to 3. You're not supposed to, you know, get early kills or whatever. This is not the champion to get early kills with. Again, if you're an aggro player, this is not the champion for you. If you, again, like to fight a lot early game, if you want to skirmish, if you want to go for trades, stay away from Malzahar. This champion is for mid and late game, or at least hit 6 and then look for maybe picks with your jungler, or again, call for your jungler. Because the thing with Malzahar, he lacks early game to like one shot at level 6. Like even if you have Lost Chapter and you're 6, it's kind of hard to one shot. It's not like, again, like let's say a Syndra. Syndra, you get a good stun, you Q W, you chase them, you Q again in R, and all of a sudden he's dead. With Malzahar, like even if you get a full combo and the guy just runs, there's hard to kind of catch up, you know. If he just runs and you run, you're gonna be behind him, you're gonna Q, your champion is gonna stand still to Q, you're gonna miss your Q, and he's safe because you can't Q and move at the same time. So it's kind of hard to get solo kills with the champion, but again, this is not the champion to get solo kills with. If you're looking for solo kills, hey, there's tons of champions for you out there. And this brings us to the second tip, or the second negative, I would say. Can't 1 versus 5. So what I mean with this, let's say you have a 10-0 Joan. This guy can probably win a fight 1 versus 5, depending on if, let's say the enemies are not that fed and you're uber fed. This guy can probably 1 versus 10 or 1 versus 5, or at least get a couple of kills. And, you know, juke around, kill, Q, lifesteal, whatever. If you're kind of fed with Malzahar, let's say you versus 5. I mean, you're probably not gonna be able to R, because if you, let's say they have a tiny bit of CC and you R instead of in the group of 5 people, they're gonna cancel you. But yes, you can slow, you can do a lot of damage, but if they just keep running, it's gonna be hard for you to, you know, get picks. If these, let's say all 5 of them run, it's gonna be hard for you. But if they run and you're Joan, you can, you know, tornado up, you can maybe ER and, you know, E flash R and you just catch up to someone, kill them, whatever. I'm not saying the champion is, you know, you can't do anything, but again, it's kind of hard for him to just go ham 1 versus 5, do plays. He's more of a support-ish type of a champion, where you know, you want to stand and slow with the Rileys and press R for your teammates to kind of destroy, and just be, again, kind of a support to your team. Not the greatest champion to go 1 versus 10 against, or 1 versus 9. This is not the champion. So if you're looking for a champion that can literally solo carry, hey, there's tons of better mid laners, but again, the better mid laners in terms of 1 versus 5 might not be as easy, might not be as safe, might not be as good of a scaling champion. So you throw out a con for a pro in almost in every champion. That's just the way it is. And Malzahar's con is kind of a weak early game and weak in terms of kind of solo carrying. And that brings us to number 3, which is you need a human to carry with. So what I mean with this is, if you are doing well in mid lane, you're still gonna need like at least someone who can deal the damage to finish people off. You know what I mean? A good AD carry, a good top laner, a good jungler. Assassin jungler is probably the greatest thing for Malzahar. So let's say you are kind of fed, you're queuing, you're slowing people. You want to have someone next to you, like an AD carry, that can hit the person you slow or the person you are, and just finish them off. You know, do as much damage as possible to finish the players off. And you just want to stand next to them, like you want to be a duo. You just want to walk together and try to get picks as a, you know, as a group, and you need people to at least do some damage. If you lack that, let's say your AD carry is very behind, you have a terrible jungler, you have a terrible top, it's gonna be a kind of a hard game to, you know, you can still get picks with your R, don't get me wrong, but it's gonna be hard, and you need time, and you want to look for to stall the game so your teammates can get, you know, their powers and get some power spikes, maybe some items, whatever, so you guys can start fighting 5 versus 5s. But again, this is probably the biggest reasons people usually lose. If your AD carry ints, then it's automatically kind of a hard game, because AD carries are like Malzahar's best friend, in my opinion. And that is probably also why I started playing Malzahar bot lane, because of I was getting tired of having inting bot laners, so I swapped to bot, playing Malzahar APC and just having like a AD champion mid. It works, but then again, you're missing out on the long-ranged AD champion. So again, it's kind of a pro and a con. But AD carries are your best friend, and that's why you should always look to roam bot lane, by the way. Always look to roam bot, because you want to get your AD carry fed, because that's gonna be your prio one to carry with. Number 4 is you need a jungler with the IQ higher than 32. It goes back to the pros when I said you need a jungler that ganks you when you're at 6. I mean, it's a very easy gank setup. Again, if you don't have a jungler that does that, or your jungler is tilted, he's mad, whatever, you might have argued, you might maybe called for a gank, and you told him, yo, why don't you gank? He doesn't have flash, and he told you to shut the fuck up, and now you're arguing, and all of a sudden he says, well, good luck, you're solo, and you're muted, by the way. Anyways, then it's not gonna be like, when I say, people get me wrong on some of my videos when I say this jungler is bad. I'm not saying this jungler is bad, or it's not because I'm struggling with my laner. It's not because I'm struggling with enemy mid. It's not because I am, 2 CS behind. It's not, I don't care about that. My laning is still fine. I can still CS whatever. But if you have a Malzahar and you have a free kill, why wouldn't you take it? It gets me fed. It gets you fed. This champion is made to get enemy jungle fed, literally. Like, and if a jungler ignores you, it's like, why am I even playing Malzahar? I should have maybe played, like, imagine how many different picks I could have played if I know my jungler is never gonna gank me. Then I probably wouldn't pick Malzahar. Maybe I would have picked TF. Just farm and look for Rs, or whatever. But this is where it gets frustrating. I mean, yes, jungler is usually the greatest thing in the game. If you have a good jungler, it's literally GG if you're playing well. But if you have a very bad jungler that literally ignores every lane, then all of a sudden it's a very 10 times harder of a game. So you need a jungler that at least, has a slight brain. And if you're having out of field junglers, guys, dodge. Trust me, just dodge. If you have bot laners as jungle, dodge. If you have anyone who's just picking, let's say they're out of field jungle and they pick something like a Lee Sin Nidalee, dodge. Just dodge if you have out of field jungle. Trust me, if you're serious about climbing, dodge every out of field jungle you get, because jungle again for Malzahar is, you go hand in hand. This is the 5th and the last con for Malzahar is no early game prio for Scuttle. So this is kind of combination with con number 1, weak early game, no early game prio for Scuttle. This is a little bit different. Well, the thing here is, when people have Malzahar in the team, they automatically think Malzahar has prio because his voidlings can kill and push the wave. But even in Master Tier, I'm telling you guys, even in Master Tier, people don't realize you can't do that level 1 to 3 with Malzahar. You just can't. If you're facing something like a Jazz, you can use perma-clear voidlings. Your E doesn't do enough damage to kind of like chunk the minions, so you can like Q reset and it's gonna bounce and destroy all the minions. It doesn't happen early game because you don't have enough damage to kind of kill minions, with just EQ. You just can't. If you do, you're gonna waste all your mana. It's not gonna work out. So people don't realize this and be like, yo, why don't you have prio? I'm like, bruh, I can't have prio in this lane. I just can't. Malzahar literally loses a lot of the early prio versus a lot of champions right now, especially the meta champions, which is like, Yasuo, Joan, Viego. There's Orianna, there's Syndra, there's Xerath, Vel'Koz. Like, there's so many champions that have better early prio, at least early. Now I'm talking about early. Now I'm talking about pre-last chapter, or at least pre some levels. After a couple of levels, yes, it gets easier, but the junglers, they don't want to understand, or they just don't understand it. It gets them tilted, and it gets me tilted, because if you're high elo, you should know this. And that's, it's kind of, it sucks, because let's say the enemy mid lane pushes in, your jungler goes for a Scuttle, all of a sudden the enemy jungler is there, and mid lane is roaming first because he has prio, and boom, your jungler misses both Scuttle. GG, FF, go next. Happens again. Higher elo is a lot more fast paced. People want to contest scuttles, people want to fight early, people want to go into enemy jungle just fight, especially if they have early prio. I'm not saying Malzahar, you can't play Malzahar in higher elo, but you need to have smarter players, or at least someone who knows Malzahar's kind of early game and used to understand, like, oh shit, our mid lane is not gonna have, I tend to tell my laner, my jungler this, like, I'm not gonna have prio early, so please care, or at least start opposite side of enemy jungler. So let's say enemy jungle starts blue, you also want to start blue. So if the enemy jungler goes for red and the scuttle, then your jungler is on the opposite side taking one scuttle. So it's one scuttle for each jungler at least. And should not try to contest early. But if I do have prio, then I'm gonna tell him, like, yo, I'm gonna have prio this lane. Let's go for it. So yeah, that's it for the pros and cons, guys. I mean, you might not agree, some people might disagree, but if you have better tips or better pros and cons, comment. I want to know what you guys feel about Malzahar. For the next, we're gonna go into the best runes. So here I have 3 different rune pages with slight adjustments. We're gonna talk about it. The first one is the most standard one, and this is the one I've used the most. I would say the only difference here, guys, that I usually swap around is Scorch for Gathering Storm. People asking this a lot too. When do you go Scorch? When do you go Gathering Storm? I go Scorch when I face like a melee mid champion or a short range champion where I know I'm gonna get a lot of ease on. So let's say I face something like a Jasso. I know I'm gonna get free ease because he's a melee champ. So I go Scorch to do a little bit more damage to get more respect out of the Jasso, so he can't just bully me around. Same thing if I face like a Viego, Joan. Can work against champions like what can we say here? Fizz as well. Again, every short range melee champ, there is some that you shouldn't, like Orianna, for example, you can, but if it's a good Orianna, she's just gonna, you don't wanna trade with Oriannas at all, to be fair, because she has a shield, she's gonna block a lot of damage, she has lower cooldowns, she's very annoying. Same with Victor, he has a Q, gets a shield, so Scourge is not gonna help us a lot there. I'd rather go Gathering Storm against champions, again, that wins the early trades or has a lot of range. So if you face something like a Xerath, something like a Vel'Koz, you're not gonna get a lot of spells into them because they have very far range. They're just gonna farm from range or just, throw spells and run. You're not gonna get a lot of Scorch on it, so it's better to just go Gathering Storm and scale. You know what I mean? People usually say, why go Airy instead of Comet? Guys, Airy has lower cooldowns. You can proc Airy twice on 1E if you're close enough. Arcane Comet is dodgeable, Airy is not. 2 Aries is better than Arcane Comet, no? And again, lower cooldowns. It's just better, because yeah, don't argue. The second on the inspiration tree here, what you could do if you're facing an assassin, this is also optional, but sometimes I do this depending on the enemy team comp. You could go for Stopwatch instead of Magical Footwear, but the most standard one is Magical Footwear if you don't face like a heavy assassin comp. Like let's say you face Nocturne and Zed. Well, Stopwatch is probably a great pick because you want to get Zonias pretty early. Other than that, I usually go Magical Footwear and Futures Market. Futures Market is great. We're gonna talk through this in the itemization as well, but let's say you go Futures Market, then you want to start Mana or Sapphire Crystal, because you want to, again, you're gonna get Lost Chapter way faster if you go Futures Market and Sapphire Crystal. You're gonna get it so fast, man, because you're gonna get bonus gold, or you're gonna get like a loan over depth, and you're gonna start Mana Crystal. You can literally get Lost Chapter at 4 or 5 minutes if you see as well. I'm not even kidding. Like 4 or 5 minutes, you have Lost Chapter. That's great. For the runes, the smaller ones, AP, Armor, or Magic Resist, depending on the matchup. So that really is up to the matchup. I've seen a lot of people go Cosmic Insight, Magical Footwear. Again, it's all about how you want to play the game. I go Biscuits when I go Doran's Ring, which is, it depends again which way you want to go. Do you want to go Sapphire Crystal? Great, go Futures Market. Do you want to go Doran's Ring? Go Biscuits. Do you want to go Doran's Ring and maybe Cosmic Insight? Well, again, all up to you. But for me, I usually go Biscuits, Magical Footwear if I go Doran's Ring. Or I go Magical Footwear, Futures Market when I go Sapphire Crystal. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the runes and the small differences I make. The second tree, which is again my second most used, is this one. So this one again, pretty standard. You go Unsealed Spellbook, great. You can swap around your runes late game. I like it a lot against ranged matchups. This is again the same thing with Scorch Gathering Storm. If you know you're gonna go Gathering Storm, and you know you have a long range matchup that you're not gonna proc a lot of Aries on, because again you're not gonna hit a lot of spells, why not go Unsealed Spellbook? And hey, maybe when you hit 6 or 7 or whatever, you maybe swap to Ghost and you Ghost down bot lane with your R, you know? Or why not go for I don't know, Ghost Ignite and maybe go for a solo kill mid? You know, everything is possible with Unsealed Spellbook. Scales good because again you go Magical Footwear. You can choose Biscuits or Futures Market, Cosmic Insight, maybe Approach Velocity. It's all up to you. I usually don't go Corruption Potions, so I don't go Time Wrap Tonic. I've tried it, didn't like it. For the secondary on the Unsealed Spellbook, you could go like I have Mana Flow Band Transcendence. You could go like Sheep Shot, Taste of Blood / Ultimate Hunter. Very optional, but I like this one because again the mana sustain is great with Mana Flow Band, and Transcendence is cooldown for free. And I really like free stats on Malzahar. Yeah, this is again pretty my second highest used rune page. Pretty fast, pretty straightforward. Not a lot of things to question. Boots, you want to swap it to time stopwatch if you're facing assassins, like at least 2 of them. Or if you know like, oh shit, I'm pretty bad against a Zed, well great, just go stopwatch instead of Magical Footwear and you can buy it later, because again stopwatch it has a higher price but it comes in way later. So my third most used rune page, this is one of the rune pages I usually play when I smurf or when I feel like they have very mobile champions, and it's Predator. I like Predator, man. I think Predator is pretty neat if you have if they have a lot of immobile champions and you know you're gonna gank a lot, or if you're hard smurfing, or like if you're smurfing lower elos, Predator is pretty good. If when you hit 6, you can literally roam around and get picks. Taste of Blood, you could go Sheep Shot here. I usually go Taste of Blood. I like it better. Eyeball Collection for more AP. You could go Relentless Hunter or Ultimate Hunter here. So it's up to you. I usually go Ultimate Hunter if I know I'm just gonna, I'm gonna hard win this. Relentless Hunter is good. It makes you faster. But again, Ultimate Hunter is just, you get free Rs, man. Secondary here is, again, you could go for whatever, but I usually go for Mana Flow and Transcendence again. Free stats, I take that. The small runes are always gonna be that of 2 AP or 2 like adaptive, armor or magic resist, depending on who you face. And yeah, this is my most used runes. Pretty much, what I feel is the best runes for Malzahar. Comment, again, if you go comment, I mean, hey, it's up to you, but I really don't go comment. I used to a little bit in the bot lane, but then I noticed, hey, it doesn't really, doesn't really connect that much, man. People used to walk out of it. So yeah, so let's jump into the itemization, guys. Well, the first item, this is, when you start the game, Doran's Ring is the most common used for Malzahar. You go, when you go Doran's Ring, you usually go Biscuits. You have a lot of sustain. The prio here, or the goal is to farm to 1,300 and then recall by Lost Chapter. If you can't, you want to get as much gold as possible, recall, and start building into Lost Chapter. So Doran's Ring is, it gives you 60 or whatever HP, some mana, and when you kill a minion, you get mana back. You go with 2 red potions, you get Biscuits, so it's a lot of mana sustain. it's I usually pick Doran's Ring again when I go for the Airy and Scorch, because when I go for Airy and Scorch, that means I'm gonna trade a lot or at least get free poke. So I go Doran's Ring to get more AP, make your E do a little bit more damage, and it helps. It really does. So if you go up against like a Yasuo, hey, Doran's Ring, Biscuit, Scorch, there you go. But if you face something like a Xerath, well then you might want to go Sapphire Crystal with Futures Market and you farm it out, get your Lost Chapter earlier, start getting your items a little bit faster because you're going to get some extra gold from Futures Market. And it's kind of a farming item lane. So let's say you face a Cassiopeia, they usually go for tier Sapphire Crystal as well, and you just want to kind of farm a little bit in the early game. They have big mana issues early game. You might want to go Sapphire Crystal there too, or you want to go for the third pick, which is Tier. Tier is a good choice if you want to go for the full damage Malzahar build. So the full damage Malzahar build is usually, you know, you upgrade it to Arching Staff. You go either one of the mythics, Liandry's or Ludens, and then you go Rabadon. So you want to go full AP. So if you're gonna buy Tier, you could always buy it and you know, have it stacked and then sell it late game. But there was if you guys remember the build I used to play, which was like you go Sorcery Boots, Liandry's or Ludens, Arching Staff, Rabadons. You're gonna do shit tons of damage. You're not gonna be that support lingering around Malzahar. You're gonna be daddy boss Malzahar, and you're gonna do hell of a lot of damage. But that is, I mean, it works if they have squishies. I mean, it does work against tanks too, because you're gonna do a hell of a lot of damage. But it's not gonna do, you know, that. I usually go for that build when I am uber fed, or if I get a lot of kills early game. Like let's say I'm 5-0 the first 10 minutes. Well, then I'm going for the uber damage build Malzahar. But if I know I'm 0-0, the build is just gonna take me too long of a time. And you're not gonna be as useful, because let's say you're 0-0 late game, right? Or like 20 minutes, team fight starts. You have the choice of either going Arching Staff or Riley's. Of course I'd go Riley's, because I'm not gonna be the one destroying the team fights. I just want to be there and be annoying, if that makes sense. But if you're uber fit, again, Arching Staff is great. So whatever you go here, doesn't matter which one you start, you want to always go for this item, and that's Lost Chapter. That's your biggest spike. Gives you mana. When you level up, you get some mana. You guys know what the item does. If you don't read about it, I don't know the stats in my head. It gives you mana, some AP, some cooldown. When you level up, you get some mana back. This builds into your mythic, which is, you know, the mana items. You can go Everfrost, you can go Ludens or Liandry's. Great. Perfect for your lane sustain as well. And this is where you can start feeling a little bit more cocky as Malzahar. You can go for trades. You can go for like more spells on minions, because you're gonna be pretty good on mana early game. So you don't really have to worry too much when you get this item. Again, you don't want to spam, but you could if you want to. That's what I mean, because you're gonna do a lot more damage with your spells now too. So you're gonna get the minion kills faster, and you're just gonna get mana back with your E when you level up, yada yada yada. But let's say you recall and you don't have enough gold for Lost Chapter, you might go Amplifying Tome and a Dark Seal. Dark Seal is also a great item, because again, if you are confident on Malzahar, if you know you don't lose lane, you don't end early game, why not get a Dark Seal and try to stack it up? You know, maybe you get some assists here and there, maybe you get some kills, maybe you get some picks with your jungler, maybe you TP, maybe you get a, you know, double assist. All of a sudden you have a Dark Seal stacked up to 10. Great. Sheep item gives you AP and gives you HP, so it's good. Let's say you go Doran's Ring, you could go for this as well. You can go Doran's Ring, Dark Seal. If you have like an early back, you're gonna be a little bit tankier, you're not gonna be as squishy. It's great against assassins. You're gonna do damage and you're gonna have some extra health. So it's a great pick if you have a semi, you know, low gold recall. I see people go double Doran's, and never do that. That's nah, don't do that, because Doran's Ring value is terrible in the game right now. You buy it for 400, sell it for 160. Dark Seal is like 350, you sell it for 200. 2020. Don't quote me on that, but Dark Seal is better gold value anyways. So around this time, maybe you're getting your boots, maybe you don't, but either way, let's say you get your boots, magical footwear, it kicks in. Now you have the choice to go Ionian boots. Ionian boots is great against champions if you feel like they have tanky front lines, and you know you want to dish out as many spells as possible to make them burn with Liandry's, because Liandry's does HP damage per burn. Great, and it's gonna get your cooldowns on your ultimate, because again it gives a lot of cooldown on your spells, and it gives you lower cooldown on your summoner spells. So if you want to look for more like flash picks, like flash R, maybe more TP plays, whatever, Ionian boots are great. It got a slight nerf with 50 gold up, not the worst, but it has made me go for sorcery boots more often now. Why do I go sorcery boots, guys? Well, I go sorcery boots because the 18 AP or 18 magic pen, I'm telling you, I can feel it in game. Because if you go, let's say you go Ionian boots, right? The AD carries late game usually has like 40 MR. That's nothing, but it's like, I'm not sure how many percentage that is of damage neglected. But let's say you have sorcery boots, literally 40 minutes 18 is 22. They have 22 MR. That's close to like true damage. Literally, okay, not close, but it's, you know, you can feel it because the percentage of the damage blocked is getting so much lower when you go sorcery boots. It's insane. I usually go sorcery boots if they have like 1 tank or if they have 0 tanks, or not tanks, but like if I know they're not gonna stack MR. Let's say how I have 4 AD champions, I know people are gonna probably buy armor before MR, so I go sorcery boots, do a little bit more damage, a little bit more cocky, you know, you can do, but I'm telling you, I can feel the damage difference. I'm not even kidding. Like, I can feel me doing hell of a lot more damage when I have sorcery boots comparing to Ionians. Yeah, that's, I mean, that's maybe might just be me, but I am starting to go that a lot more often now, and I really like it, man. Yeah, and by the time now, this is where you go for your mythic item. So the first and the most common mythic item is Liandry's. Liandry's is great, guys, for Malzahar. Your E literally has a 4-second tick, so you're gonna burn them for 8 seconds of Liandry's. So every tick of E is gonna proc Liandry's, but the last tick of your E after 4 seconds, it's still gonna refresh the Liandry's. So the Liandry's is gonna tick for 4 more seconds. So you're gonna get 8 seconds of Liandry's burn. That means if you go Morello or Oblivion Orb, you're gonna get 8 seconds of Grievous Wounds, which is awesome. Very good item for Malzahar, gives you everything you need. AP, cooldown, mana. The burn is awesome for late game. Doesn't matter if they're squishy or not. This is still a great item, because again, the burn is you do more damage if they have more HP. That's, you know, of course it's great, but even though they don't have enough HP to get to that threshold, you're still gonna do a lot of damage. The second mythic item is Luden's Echo. Well, when do I go Luden's Echo? I go Luden's Echo when they are squishy. If they don't have any tank, if they don't have sustain, if I don't feel like I'm gonna need Oblivion Orb, even if I know I will need it, this gives me a slight more burst on my Q than Liandry's. Liandry's will always do more damage with E. Or there's some items, like 6 items, I think, well, 6 items might... No, 6 items, Liandry's is always going to do more damage than 6 items Luden's on E. But your Q is going to do more damage on Luden's. And it's, again, it's more of a burst. Like, you want to boop and you're going to pop people. This is very good if you go for the full damage Malzahar build. So if you go Sorcery Boots, Luden's, Rabadons, Archangel, Void, and then maybe you finish it off with, I'm not sure, like Morello, Zonias, whatever you want, it's gonna do a hell of a lot of damage. I can't tell you how many times I would like one-shot at 80 carries with 1 Q, literally. Like, out of the blue, he's Qing, he gets like 700 minus HP. I'm like, Jesus Christ, like, I can feel, I feel very, very, much stronger than if I go for the support-ish Malzahar build, which is like Ionians, Luden's, Riley's. I'm not sure, man. It's something about the Luden's build that makes you feel like you feel like a demigod, but that's just me. Some people will disagree and say Leonis always does more damage, but shut the fuck up, man. I know what I'm doing here. But this is the two mythics you should choose from. They are pretty similar, gives almost the same stats, except their mythic passive is different. Ludens gives you magic pen per legendary, so again, it's gonna be great if they are full squishy. Again, that Ezreal with 40 MR, if you go Sorcery Boots, Ludens gives you 6, I think, or 8. Whatever, let's say 6. You have 24 total. Let's say you have 2 legendaries. It gives you 5 each, I think. Anyways, you're gonna have I think Ludens gives 8. 8, 26, 10, 36. If you have 2 legendaries, you're gonna take away 36 MR from 40 MR Ez. He has 4 MR. He's gonna get blasted, boy. Imagine if you didn't go for those items. Well, he has 40 MR. He's gonna defend like 40% of your damage or whatever. So think about it, guys. I'm telling you, I'm just giving a tip. So after you get your legendary item, what I usually go is an Oblivion Orb. The reason being is every item, every AD item, every item in the game literally gives you some kind of a lifesteal now. And again, the AD champions are meta. Everything with Shieldbow is meta mid right now. Viego, Joan, Yasuo, Lucian, Tristana, whatever you want, name it. Top laner has Stridebreaker. They have that whatever the other item is that these things go. I'm not sure what it's called, but whatever. It also gives lifesteal. Every new champion gets lifesteal in their kit. It's just so bad. So you're gonna need the Oblivion Orb, even though I don't feel like it helps sometimes. Like I feel like Jesus Christ, they're still healing. Hey, if you didn't have this item, trust me, you would never kill anyone. So I usually pick up an Oblivion Orb. I don't fully upgrade it. I just keep it, and then I go forward to my third item. Wait, what is this? Boots. Yeah, this is my third item, with boots, of course, which is either Riley's or Archangel. So Archangel, again, if you start a tier, you want to get a tier after your mythic item. Of course, you want to rush your mythic item, and then you want to go for one of these. If you don't go for tier into Archangel, if you start a Dorans, then you want to go for Riley's, which is probably one of the best items on Malzahar. The slow is great. You get a little bit more tankiness. It's awesome for picks and stuff like that. Archangel gives you a lot of AP because it scales out of mana, and you have a mythic that gives you mana, tier that has a lot of mana, and it just gives you flat AP as well and flat mana. So it just, again, the item scales with everything you build here. So it's just very good if you want to go for the full AP Malzahar build, like I said, or else you want to go Riley's, and optional if you have 10 stacks of Darksteel or 8 or whatever, you might want to finish off Magias, because Magias counts as a legendary. Some people don't know that it counts as a legendary, so it's gonna proc your mythic passive wherever you go. Let's say you go Ludens, it's gonna get you that extra 6 magic pen you get from its passive. Or if you go Liandry's, you're gonna get that ability haste. So hey, it's kind of a cheap item as well. I think it's total, like, how much is it? It's like 2k, no? 2,100 for a full Magias, I think. It's the cheapest item you can get, and if you have stacks on it, that means, hey, you have not died or you have kept your stacks. Why not keep stacking it? So that would be, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4 items in total if you go Darksteel. So for the 5th item, this is very optional, so I just put everything here. For the 5th item, it really depends, man. It really depends. If you go for the full AP build, you go Rabadons. If they have like 3 or more tanks, you wanna maybe go for Demonic Embrace. I usually don't go Demonic Embrace anymore. If they have more tanks, I usually go for Void here. Or again, if they are squishy but they have a lot of lifesteal, you might wanna go Morello. If they have a lot of assassins and you start a stopwatch, then you might wanna buy Zonias. Let's say you didn't go for stopwatch in your runes. Well, then preferably you wanna buy the stopwatch in between somewhere after mythic or before mythic. It all depends on how the laning goes for you. Let's say you die a lot, well, then Zhonya's probably won't help you because you're just gonna die again. You're gonna save yourself one time. Nice, you saved yourself for 4 seconds because, you know, assassins have like super short cooldowns on their ultimates. So this is very optional. Again, it all depends on how the game looks like. But for me, I usually finish Morello after Riley's because I like the extra HP and the extra the grievous wounds. But if I feel like, or let's say they have a tank top or a tank jungler, and they're tank jungler that already has started stacking MR, then I go for a Void, because again, you wanna do more damage and all that good stuff. But this is very optional. And for the 6th item, again, very, very optional. This is like depending on what the game looks like. I usually my build usually looks like Sorcerer Boots, Liandry's, Riley's, Magi's. I usually go Magi's because, again, like I said, my KDA is one of the better ones in from the Malzahar players. I usually don't die a lot, so I usually get stacks on it and I usually upgrade it. So that is 4 items. Then I usually again Morello 5, and then I usually finish it off with a Void. So this is like Rabadon's versus Magi's. Magi's, if you have it fully stacked, it gives you a lot of AP anyway, so you're not gonna you know, need the Rabadons. But let's say you die and you keep losing your stacks, well, then you might sell that and get Rabadons instead. Yeah, but again, this is very, very depending on how the game looks, what you're facing, what the enemy team comp looks like. But this is just, you know, kind of a small kind of insight on the Malzahar items, which I like. And depending on what you want to go, or what type of Malzahar you want to play, if you want to play super aggro, if you get fed early game, like I said, you might want to look for a more damage build. If you are very weak, then you just want to play the supporting build, which, you know, you might want to buy the cheapest items out there, which is Ionian Boots. You're still getting Leandry's Ludens and then Riley's, and you know, getting the cheaper items because you're not gonna have a lot of gold if you are getting behind. So yeah, that's it for itemization. If you guys, you know, have a build or something you feel like I missed, comment down below, man. We're here to help. We're here to, you know, everyone in here can learn from each other. Like, I learn a lot from you guys. Sometimes I do mistakes, sometimes I might have missed something. There's a lot of people, you know, giving me information, and I like it. Like, when I say comment, I'm not saying like, well, I don't need your comments, but you can comment to help others. Like, no, I still read every comment, and I sometimes like, oh shit, I didn't know that, you know. There's a lot of stuff I didn't know. Like, there was a guy, I'm not sure who it was, maybe someone from my Discord, maybe someone that, you know, that I talk to still, or like I talk to, but there was a guy who told me about the grievous wounds and Leandry's. I didn't know it kept the grievous wounds for 8 seconds. I thought it was 4. I was like, jeez, yeah, that's pretty true. Like, that was, it was true. It stacks for 8 seconds, and I'm like, yo, that's pretty good if they have lifesteal. So yeah, comment down below if I missed an item, or like if you guys feel like the build is, you know, the build is wrong. Some people might say Cosmic Insight or Cosmic Drive. I don't like that item. It, you know, it slows down whatever else you want to build or whatever else you need. So I usually don't go for that item. Some people don't get that instead of Riley's. I mean, hey, I would never swap Riley's for that item, but hey, some people do. Anyways, let's go into the matchups. This is gonna be hard. I don't want to talk about every matchup, but I just want to briefly go into them. So let's go start from the easy matchups. The easy matchups, as you can see, is, I mean, there's a couple there, and I know a lot of people are gonna be like, what? Lux easy, LeBlanc easy, Zoe easy, what do you mean? Look, Annie has a short range, kind of a bad clear. All you have to do is not int 1 to 3, and then you are solid. She might flash on you level 6 or whatever. It's fine. You trade flash with flash, and then you're good. I mean, like, there's so many people that play the match or the laning bad and feel like, oh, the champion is strong against Malzahar. No, it's because a lot of people, I'm not even kidding, a lot of people I watched, I can't tell you guys how many players I've watched in Masters, Master Malzahars, whatever. Their laning phase is, it's so bad, and then I'm like, I can understand why my KDA is better than these guys, because they usually end early game because they messed up their lane management. So the easy matchups, again, Annie. Why? Short range, not a lot of clear, not a lot of threats, because again, when she runs towards you, well, hey, you don't want to stand still, you want to run back. She has Tibbers all in. I mean, she can do that once every 2 years, because if you listen, if you get Tibbered from Annie without her flashing, again, that's a mispositioning from you. You can always late game or like after a couple of levels, you can always EW, and if she just keep chasing you, your EW is just gonna push in, so you can just walk away. Like, why are you chasing? The minion wave is already dead. Brand, again, same thing here, kind of a short range. He has to land a spell on you to kind of stun you with his Q. Should not be possible, guys. I mean, listen, if you lose against Brand mid as Malzahar, you're doing something wrong. Lux, kind of the same. She has like a bully potential 1 to 3, but then all of a sudden she has to use spells on the waves, or else your Voidlings is gonna push, and she has to use E on them, or at least clear them. If she doesn't, you're gonna get a free push. Dodge spells, if you can't dodge, hey, I can't help you. It's not the matchup that is bad, it's, you know, mechanics. LeBlanc, again, she is a little bit of a bully 1 to 3, then it gets super easy, because again, if she W's you, she can't W the Voidlings, and if she can't W the Voidlings, your Void is gonna get a free push. Lulu, haven't really faced a lot of Lulus. Same thing here, she has 1 Q that can clear if she doesn't use the Q, free push. Zoe, her skill shot is easily blocked by your Voidlings. Like, if she tries to Q you, you can always spawn Voidlings to block it. Your Voidlings can block E. If she doesn't Q the wave, free push. Aurelion Sol, there isn't not a lot of Aurelion Sol players out there. I faced one, he was terrible. So it might be a harder matchup than it is, but I haven't really faced a lot of them. Galio, guys, Galio, short ranged melee champion, has a Q, has a lot of clear, doesn't make it a hard matchup. It's still an easy matchup. He doesn't have a lot of kill pressure. He doesn't have a kill pressure. He might have a roaming or prio or, you know, whatever early game. That doesn't make it a hard matchup. I mean, yes, in terms of map prio and stuff, maybe it is a hard matchup, but it shouldn't be hard that you end or lose CS or you just get gapped mid. No, not possible. After some levels, this matchup is uber easy, and if it's not, then you should watch the VOD and try to understand what you do wrong. So lane management wins here. If you, again, some champions are missing. Joan, Viego, they're in the same spot. Lane management wins. They're just not added to the tier list because this is kind of an old tier list, but Joan and Viego is here as well. Lane management wins is where you want to, if you guys have watched my Yasuo laning guide, if you haven't, please go back and do it. Or the Joan one is where you want to freeze close to your turret and just farm it out, especially against Yasuo, Fizz, Katarina, Akali, Joan, Viego. Same strategy. Try to freeze it in front of your minion or in front of your turret. If you want to tank minions, or if you have to tank minions, do it, but freeze it in the early games, because that's where you're the weakest. If you push against these guys, they're just gonna jump on you and destroy you, chase you all the way to turret. You have to flash, and all of a sudden the laning is much harder. Vladimir, it's just kind of again, it's kind of an easy matchup in the beginning because Vladimir is very weak. It gets rough at some point where you can start like healing a lot and you perma clear with his E, but again, lane management here is key to kind of bully him out of CSing and stuff like that. If you haven't watched my guides, guys, please do. My laning guides are, in my opinion, very informative. I'm not even lying. I watched a lot of master, again, like I said, master tier players lane against the Yasuo because I want to do a gameplay video of people playing against Yasuo. A lot of master players suck when I play Malzahar against Yasuo. I'm not like, no flame, but you guys are terrible. The lane, they try to push early game against the Yasuo. You can't. If he freezes, it's over. Or if you get close to his turret and the minion wave is coming, it's over. He can dash through and trade. but people, yeah, I just watch the gameplay video and you're gonna understand what I mean. Or yeah, I'm not gonna take that. Anyways, skilled matchup, guys. This is, as you can see, a lot of skill shot champions. So here it's all about how you move, how you play the laning, how you dodge spells. Veigar, pretty easy champion if he doesn't land his cage and, you know, trades or whatever, if you don't get hit by his Q. Kind of a farming matchup here. Kind of a rough. Same thing with Vel'Koz. I used to have Vel'Koz at a harder, you know, matchup state, but now all of a sudden, I'm not sure, man. It's so much easier than it used to. I'm not sure if I've improved, or again, if I'm just that good. I can't really say. Syndra, same thing here. You want to dodge her stun, and you're pretty good. The farming, again, kind of a farming-ish matchup here. Like, all of these are kind of farming. And it's just, you know, sometimes it's just the way it is. As long as you don't ent, you're fine, in my opinion, against most of these guys. Because I feel like Malzahar outscales most. Of course, there's some champions like Diana who can literally jump in and get 5-man R. But if you're there, she can't. You can click R. Xerath, people might have him higher up as well. But if you have watched some of my footage against Xerath, guys, I break their ankles. I'm not even kidding. Ahri, same thing here. You want to dodge your spells, guys. You don't want to get charmed. Cassiopeia, pretty fair. Again, skilled matchup depending on if you can land her Q. Zed, you want to dodge that shadow clone jutsu with QE. Ziggs, same thing here. So it's kind of as you can see, a lot of skill shot champions, which you have a slight advantage because you have a shield that can block one of them. But again, if they hit 1 out of 10 spells, that means, hey, they're not going to be able to kill you because, you know, your spell shield is already going to be back up. But if they land 1 out of 2, hey, man, you have to practice that movement, bro. I can't. Like, this is why it was such a good move for me to move to Malzahar after I have played a lot of TF and Gangplank. Weak laners. I played so much of the weak laners that I'm used to blocking spells or having disadvantages in lanes, which makes it a lot easier for me to play something like a Malzahar who has a free shield. So it's, you know, that makes me again, because I played a lot of Udyr as well. Udyr is just all about movement, running up and down, having fun, dodging spells. Hey, I'm used to that now. So I just took all of my other champions, merged it into Malzahar, and now, you know, I'm doing pretty well against the skill shot champs. Annoying lane here, it's, you know, they can kill you if you misplay, or they're just gonna perma-clear voidlings and you can't really do a lot about it. So Azir outranges with his WQ. He can WQ you and slow, so he can use slow and run, break your shield. You're gonna run back, he's gonna spawn W's, he's gonna basic attack you, chunk it down. He's gonna keep doing that. Kind of annoying. If it's a good Azir, it's a hell of an annoying matchup. Luckily, there's not a lot of Azir players out there, so I mean, because he's pretty nerfed. They tried to buff him, but wasn't enough. And he always has his you know, EQR setup for ganks, so this matchup is annoying. Even if after you get Lost Chapter, because he can use perma-clear voidlings and harass you down. Same thing with Twisted Fate. He can always red card your voidlings. People think this is an easy matchup, but in my opinion, it's not like, oh shit, I'm losing, I'm getting owned here. But it's like, you can't really get. It's kind of hard to get prio against good TF because his spells can clear. He gets extra gold from your voidlings, so it's just, again, he's R as well, so he can always get picks and come back to mid with like 2 kills. All of a sudden, it's a lot harder matchup. Same thing with, let's say, Lissandra. She can always EW, RU if she gets a gank. Her Q perma clears voidlings. Hard to kind of kill because she has good escapes. And yeah, I mean, all of these have something to counter your champion. Black Shield, W to kill voidlings and push the wave, has a Q. Should not be, like, again, she doesn't have kill pressure. This guy, she has kill pressure. He has kill pressure. He has kill pressure. But she kind of hard if you play the lane right. If she doesn't like flash QR or whatever, like breaks your shield, flash Rs or then Qs, then it's, you know, But again, can happen once. These guys can kill you a lot because their stuns or their CC isn't really their ultimate, if that makes sense. Silas, again, one of the I mean, I could have put him if you die if you die if you misplay with Silas, but it really depends on the Silas, how good it is. And this matchup gets easier when you get items, so that's why he's not there. But he could have been there, man. Silas lately, Silas has been pissing me off, man, with his healing and just playing uber aggro against Malzahar, because you can't really do much against his trades. But if you dodge his Shane, I mean, hey, you're pretty good to go. But it's kind of hard sometimes, because if he like E's, W's and E's, then it's, you know, you're kind of screwed. Corki, same thing, has pretty good clears, has a W, pretty safe, builds shield bow as well, so it's gonna be hard to kill him when he gets stats. Has good roams, kind of an annoying lane. Rumble, same thing, can clear with his flamethrower, has a shield, has his ultimate. Very, very annoying to match or to face. If you guys haven't faced a Rumble mid as Malzahar, I mean, hey, thank God. Rise, this is also people would probably say, what, Rise? Yeah, if you're facing a good Rise, it is an annoying matchup. This guy has low cooldowns. He's stacking mana. He's not gonna run. You're gonna run out of mana earlier than this guy. Trust me. If you try to contest waves, after a couple of levels, you can use EQ your voidlings and perma clear, have prio, yada yada, all that good stuff. So this is again annoying lane. Victor, hey, Victor is hard early. Like, all of these might be hard early, but then it kind of gets easier and easier. The more items you get, the more levels you get, the more damage you do to minions. It's just gonna get a hell of a lot easier to kind of contest waves, contest damage, and people have to respect you after 6 as well, because people can't just play how they want if they don't have vision. Maybe you're playing super ham, they might back off because shit, they might think the jungler is here. You know, everything gets it all depends on how the match looks as well. Like, if you have pink wards, you know, scare factor, you might have a jungler that is camping you. All of a sudden he's like, oh shit, the jungler might be here again, let me back off here. You know, everything makes a difference. But if they have the prio on the map, then again, Victor can just keep on bullying you on the turret with his QE. You sit there and spam on you and you can't really do anything about it. Talon, probably one of the better assassins against Malzahar, in my opinion, because he can get invis, he can W you. W is, I mean, this is again an early game hard matchup, not so much a late game, because you can free farm and he can, you know, he can always clear them, but he's not gonna have a lot of kill pressure. But early game, you can always W, break your shield, look for like a jump on you, whatever, jump on a minion, W, chase you down, ignite, whatever. Has a lot of roam potential, so you have to try to contest push against this guy to not let him roam, which makes your life a little bit harder, because you can't do the tactic of freezing close to your turret here, you know what I mean? Or let him just free shove into you. You have to contest it so he can't roam. That's why it's a hot, annoying lane. It's not so much of, you know, oh shit, you can't do anything against this guy. It's more that he can roam for free. If he gets fed, he can always jump on you later and just all in you. So you have to keep this guy in mid lane as much as possible. So here are the 3 pretty much my bans. If, let's say, someone bans Castlin, someone bans Anivia, I usually ban Orianna. These champions are hella disgusting. If you guys haven't faced a good Anivia, hey, again, lucky you. I faced like I think he was Grandmaster Smurf, because I talked to him afterwards. He was a Grandmaster Smurf, had like 69% win rate in Masters, Anivia player. Had uber good KDA, had like 6 KDA in Masters. Man, it was unplayable. I'm not even kidding. Like, after 6, my guy used Ard, broke my shield, stepped forward when I was running out of it, W'd me back into his R, E'd. I was trying to chase him, like to cancel him or whatever. I missed my Q. He Q'd me, stunned me, E'd me, I died. Literally, he like one comboed me, or like, it feels like it was 10 seconds, but it was like 1. Very hard matchup after 6. kind of a hard early game as well, because you can't really do much against an Anivia. Even if you poke her down, what can you do? She's gonna, you know, push the waves in or recall. After 6, very hard. One misplay and you're literally dead. Same thing with Orianna. Early game is disgusting. She has 2 low cooldowns on her Q. She doesn't waste a lot of mana on Q. She can spam it. She can clear voidlings, keep the ball close to you, and you spam it on you every time. If she gets a gank, she can just R you in. A lot of setups and a lot of poke and a lot of wave clear on the champion, so makes Malzahar's life a lot harder. I'm not gonna say you're gonna lose every matchup against Orianna. I have smashed Oriannas. I have gone even against Oriannas, and I have lost against Oriannas. But this is why it's a hard champion. Again, Orianna is also a little bit of a simpler champ, and most mid laners. I mean, when I started playing mid, one of my friends, usually he was like a grandmaster back then, or not grandmaster, he was masters, because grandmaster didn't exist. He told me, if you want to get good at mid, practice playing Orianna, because Orianna has everything a mid laner should learn, like lane management. She has good early game, mid game, late game. She's very strong in trades. If you misplay, she's gonna take advantage of you. Like, that's why people always have Orianna in their champion pool. So this matchup is kind of annoying. Some people, again, might disagree. Some people might agree. I mean, yeah. So everyone has different, like, if I watched a couple of enemies tiers, I bet you people would have a completely different tier list. Kassadin, again, this is our most go-to ban champion. Papa Bears, mine, most of the people in my Discord. Because Kassadin, again, you can't bully him out. He's gonna free farm. He's gonna get 6. He's gonna roam. He's gonna look for trades. He's gonna be hella annoying. His Q is gonna block most of your damage. You can't really one-shot him. He's so slippery, so annoying. If he goes door and shield fleet footwork, you can't really do anything about that early game. Literally, he's gonna farm up and you can't really do anything. That's what makes this this lane so, or this matchup so hard, because you can't really stop him from farming. Like, you can't do anything about it. He's gonna scale, and then he's like, let's say he goes for one good TP play, and he has R and gets 2 kills. Well, good luck facing that now, because he's gonna gap close every time on you. Whenever you use Q or whatever, or whenever you use E on a wave. Good luck, man. That's all I can say. So these 3 are my ban picks: Kassadin, Anivia, Orianna. I usually always banned Anivia, but then again, there's a lot more players playing Kassadin than Anivia, so I went back to banning Kassadin. But if my team does ban Cass, I'm banning Anivia every time. So that's pretty much it for the matchups. I know Viego Joan is missing, but that's the same part as in lane management wins, guys. You want to freeze in front of your turret the first couple of levels. You don't want to push that in. I'm going to show you a little bit of the mistakes people do against Yasuo. So stick around and watch the gameplay footage, or like the early game footage of what people do wrong, to learn more about, you know, the lane, like how the lane should be played against the Yasuo. I'm gonna show you guys from a Silver's perspective and from a Master Player's perspective. So yeah, I mean, hopefully so far you guys enjoyed the PowerPoint presentation. This is the first time I've done this. Thank you, Coach Curtis, for the tips. I mean, I watch a lot of his guides on like what he does, and I try to copy it as much as I could. A little bit scuffed, but hey, I tried my best. So yeah, let's just jump into the early game footages, guys, and yeah, let's go. Okay, so we're gonna watch this Malzahar early game against this Yasuo. If you guys remember my Yasuo laning guide, where I said the biggest factor here against melee matchups like Joan, Yasuo, you want to try to freeze the wave over here. Why? Because if we shove and the Yasuo freezes, he can always on the next wave just dash through. This guy is Silver 4. He has 600 Malzahar games in Silver 4. And we're just gonna watch some of his early game mistakes, which is pretty common among like players all the way from gold to bronze. And we're just gonna watch it. The pretty standard mistake people do is trying to hard shove early game and just lose all their mana and be very, very early. Why that is bad is because, first of all, you can't hard shove early game with Malzahar. This is fine. E in the minion there because it's like he's kind of setting the minions up to below HP so the bounce can like kill the minions. That's pretty fine. But here, look at this. He's not basic attacking Yasuo at all. He's not trying to like... okay, I did it there, but he's giving him too much respect already, which is pretty bad. The E here is very, very unnecessary. Could have instead just walked up and E'd Yasuo, but that's fine. So the biggest mistake as well is, again, look at him. He's basic attacking, trying to force a shove, which is not going to happen against a Yasuo. Very bad movement. You're standing still trying to basic attack. A Yasuo goes in for a trade. Hard wins a trade. Our guy is still basic attacking minions, missing them. This is good. Like that was a free. Yasuo literally set up a freeze for him, and he just broke it by himself for no reason. He's breaking the freeze again, trying to force a shove, wasting mana, spawning voidlings whenever he can, misses the Q. Doesn't even stack up voidling before he spawns them most of the times. Again, spam spells for no reason. So here, the thing he can do is try to hard shove this and reset. Let's see if he does it. This is the correct... It would be correct if he hard shoves this and resets and gets his full mana, but send it. Just full send it here. Let's see if he does that. He opts not to. Wastes time, spawns voidlings. Okay, he might get the hard shove here. Unlucky. Okay, loses all his mana now. He's pretty much Stands still, gets hit with the tornado. He could still reset here. Doesn't do it. Again, guys, the whole laning phase was a mistake. Like, just from the get-go. Again, trying to force a shove, spawning voidlings, spamming E on minions only, not trying to attack Yasuo at all, not breaking the freeze for no reason, hard shoving without resetting. Even though it was a couple of minions, he could have still done it. His TP is up. This is just a visual bug. His TP is up. But another mistake low elo players do is just using TP to get back to lane. How much gold does this guy have? He has 546. Can't buy, literally can't buy anything. He's missed a lot of CS. Again, forcing the minions for no reason. And look at him now. He has to play very, very scared because Yasuo has the edge now. Yasuo can just dash through, waste all his mana again. That shot won't work. Because this is the issue with having again, like I said, the issue with having the lane here, Yasuo can just dash through and trade. You can't do nothing about it. You don't win long trades against Yasuo where you have to run all the way back. Imagine if he was here though. Yasuo can chase him. There's no way he can chase him into a turret. So already, very big mistakes in laning phase. Getting chunked, losing all his mana, trying to force a shove. He has to reset here and TP back. Again, TPing back is fine, but TPing back after you screw up your whole lane phase is just terrible. And you have the worst buy ever. Like, what can you get here? What did he buy? He bought a mana crystal. Like, a mana crystal and boots. This guy doesn't even have the right runes. Anyways, I just wanted to show you guys some of the poor laning phase early game that Malzahar's typical do. If you do this, please watch the next video. We're gonna talk about what the good Malzahar usuals do, and let's just jump through into that video. Yo, okay, this is gonna be a little bit different because we have to spectate a Korean diamond here against a Yasuo, because this is the only guy. I can't tell how many diamond 1s / masters I've looked into playing this matchup, and I'm telling you, all of them played it so wrong, and almost everyone played it like the silver guy. I'm not BM, but you guys, I mean, I have most of them in my, I know most of them, and holy shit, you guys have to learn that matchup. I mean, I know the matchup pretty well because I used to play Twisted Fate, and Twisted Fate gets hard dumpstered by a Yasuo, so you had to adapt. And I watched a lot of Yasuo matchups against like TF, Malzahar. Again, to the EOS and like master tier Diamond 1 players, you guys have to watch Papa Bear more, I guess. He's the only one who plays the laning phase good, but he hasn't played this matchup, and some of his games that he, had good laning in just ended up too easy, so I can't watch his gameplay. So we're just gonna watch this guy, and I haven't played on my main for a while, so the new patch came and, you know, all the games was, you know, undownloadable, whatever. So we're gonna watch this guy. He's gonna play against Yasuo, and this is the correct way. As you can see, he's not basic attacking the minions early game. If you see the difference between the silver guy, again, no basic attacks, just holding on, waiting, letting this guy tornado, boom. Now automatically the wave is gonna push to him because he hit the minion. His minions are lower than his, so the wave is gonna push back slowly. Yasuo walks up, he insta basic attacks, looks for E now. Yasuo kites away. Perfect spacing, tries to go in for an E, he has tornado, backs off. This is how you want to play this matchup, guys. You want to play it slow. You don't want to like, you want to match his push to a degree. Like, if he keeps spamming auto attacks and Qs on wave, you want to spam auto attacks. So far, not a single E. First E, perfect. Why? Because Yasuo was standing still instead of kiting backwards like he used to. And look at the wave. It's almost like my Malzahar against Yasuo laning guide. You freeze the wave close to your turret, and now Yasuo has to play safe because he can't really win trades. He can't really go in and like stack his conqueror and keep for the long trade like he could in the silver game. And this is just how we want to play it. Keep the wave here. Look, he stops basic attacking because the wave is pretty even. He comes in for the cannon. Basic attacks him again. Perfect. We don't care about the CSing here, guys. Yes. Maybe some of the CS could be played better, like last hitting. It's fine. We're still watching the laning phase overall. Basic attacks every time he can. Perfect. That's what you want to do. And look at the difference. A huge difference. The good reason why to like EW right there. And this is a little bit of a slight misplay too. He could have actually frozen the wave instead of chasing him there. But Yasuo is moving, so I mean, I guess he was trying to follow. It's fine. Still, look at the freeze. He's still freezing it. He doesn't hard shove it, even though Yasuo moves. He's just making Yasuo miss as much CS as possible. He doesn't need to recall. He could have hard shoved and maybe recall, but why? He doesn't have enough gold to buy anything good. He has full HP. He has biscuits. He has good enough of mana. He's just chilling, missing some CS, but it's fine. Yasuo returns. Now, this is a big wave. He's trying to shove it, but Yasuo instantly stops him from doing it. But at the same time, Yasuo is pushing the wave. And you can just go back to step number 1. Freezing the lane close to your turret. Again, he's trying to thin out the wave here. Not to letting Yasuo get like a free roam, a free reset. The wave is gonna reset here, but again, look at Yasuo instantly going for the waves, going for trades, making the wave slow push back to Malzahar. And I mean, this is most of the matchups for Malzahar, like the early game, where if you face a melee AD champion, you want this to happen. You want them to hard shove. Yes, it's gonna be rough for your laners, maybe top or, you know, jungle, because the enemy mid will maybe move, maybe roam, but stuff like that happens. In this case, Yasuo resetted, so he's hard shoving, looking for a reset. This is perfect. And now the wave is gonna crash into the turret, a whole wave. He has 1,200 gold, not enough for a lost chapter, but hey, what can you do? It says, like you guys see, he bought 2 amplifying tomes, a mana crystal, solar potion to get that, I think. And look at the big difference. He TP's top, even though he didn't get a kill. He saved his TP instead of TPing like the other guy did. Instead of TPing to the turret and just defending the minion, because the silver guy had such a bad lane management. He wasted his TP to get back to wave. This guy didn't, because he had his wave shoved in. So the wave was shoved in. He didn't really need to TP back because he was gonna catch it. Instead, he TP'd to a fight. Unluckily, he didn't get anything out of it, but it's still the proactiveness that makes a big difference in like climbing. Imagine if the silver guy kept his TP and maybe TP'd to a fight later, like 10 seconds later. Maybe there was a top fight 1-on-1. He could have TP'd behind on a minion and he's, you know, gotten the kill. You never know. So it's always good to keep your TP, guys. That's also a thing I want to show here. Hopefully the lane management was You know, I mean, I'm kind of sorry we have to watch a replay again. The Master Diamond 1 players weren't good enough to, you know, have a replay on against Yasuo. I wanted to show you guys Yasuo versus Yasuo, Silver versus you know, a high elo player. I didn't want it to be a different champion, so it was kind of hard to find one, especially with the new patch, so everyone doesn't, like, all the players doesn't have a lot of games yet. But yeah, this is the one I want to show you, and hopefully it was helpful. Yeah, let's just go, you know, to the next segment. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for watching this guide. I know this was a long time coming, and it might have not been as, you know, as good as you guys wished for, or as good as I wished for. I'm not sure, man. I'm in a weird spot. I think it was okay, but it was a little bit scuffed, a little bit random, a little bit, you know, a little bit of everything. But I really didn't know how to make this guide good, or how to make a guide. You know, I watched my first guide and I was like, yuck. So there was nothing I could take from that video and keep for this video, I guess. But yeah, this is, you know, this is just the beginning for me, I feel. I still have big missions in League of Legends. I feel like I can go higher than Masters for sure. I just have to fix my mental, my tilt state and all that good stuff, and I think I'm good to go. And I just want to thank you guys for, you know, supporting. It has been a wild ride so far, and I know it's more to come, I guess. I have, you know, not been the most, what can I say? Sometimes I'm very active on Discord, sometimes I'm not. But I always answer to all the comments, every DM. If you guys have, you know, if you ever have something you want to talk to me about, league related or anything else, I mean, you guys can always join my Discord and talk to me privately. I'm always responding. You know, I'm always trying to be there for people. So if you guys ever feel down or sad or whatever, because now I feel like that sometimes too, and it's always good to have people to talk to. So if you ever, again, feel bad, feel sad, feel low, sometimes it's easier to talk to a stranger than someone you know. Hey, I'm always there for you guys. But yeah, thank you guys so much for the support. We're always, I mean, we're still growing our YouTube channel. I know I haven't streamed as much as I wanted, or as I want, but hopefully I will start doing that too, and we, you know, pop off and have a great 2021. You guys have been very kind to me, and I will always appreciate that, whatever happens. And hey, man, it's it feels good, man. And I hope I see you guys on the next video. Comment down below, guys, what you thought about the guide and what you guys want to see more of, or if you want to see something else. You know, you guys know I've been trying different stuff. Like I've tried having editors editing videos, making them shorter, making them funnier, but we always end up going back to gameplays, because I feel like those are the ones that does the best. And I like doing gameplay videos as well. Like I like to show you guys, you know, I want to be myself. A lot of people be like, oh, you're so, you know, passive toxic, or you're so toxic, or, you know, you're always screaming, flaming. But that's just the way I am, man. I'm always like ADHD, loud, making weird sounds, saying weird stuff. But I mean, that's just me, man. I'm just trying to be myself, natural. And if it annoys people, I mean, hey guys, what can I say? I mean, I can't be fake. I mean, I have to. But yeah, thank you guys so much for, you know, the support and love. I know I've said that like 10 times now, but I don't want to end the video. Kidding. I'll see you guys on the next one, and yeah, peace.